Did not see that coming.
Disney princesses are the most beautiful, kind, and sweet women we know. But it is hard to believe that they didn't even try to be a little wild when they were teenagers. This is why 3 artists reimagined what they would look like in the modern world. Make sure you watch this video until the end to see what Pocahontas has been up to. If you love Disney princesses as much as we do, don't forget to subscribe and please give this video a big thumbs up. Today we're showing you 10 Disney princesses reimagined as modern-day bad girls. Ariel. The Little Mermaid has always been a little rebel. When she lived under the sea, she used to be fascinated by the world of humans. She collected things that used to belong to them and loved to visit a shipwreck with her friend Flounder. Ariel even dared to go to the surface of the ocean to meet her friend Scuttle, a seagull who didn't really know the human culture. But Ariel had to keep that passion secret from the other mermaids in the kingdom of Atlantica. Her father, King Triton, had said previously that the contact between merpeople and humans was forbidden. That didn't keep the Little Mermaid from realizing her dreams and becoming a human to meet the love of her life. Her father would probably never approve that she exchanged her voice for legs, but Ariel did it anyway. She is the kind of girl who doesn't listen to anyone when she knows what she wants. And it seems like, now that she is a full-time human, Ariel found another passion, as Nata Street Art reimagined her. She now wants to be part of a new world, a world of basketball players, and thinks she will know everything about them by playing this video game. She looks so cool that we think these athletes won't mind talking to her. But if she wants to be part of their world, she will have to prove that she can really use her new pair of legs. Belle. This young lady was such a nice and smart girl that we would never see her breaking the rules. Yes, she was a little bit strange, but in the best way. Villagers were surprised to see a young woman reading books when most people didn't even know the alphabet at that time. But Belle didn't even care because she thought that fiction was more interesting than reality. However, there was one time she didn't listen to her father, and this is the only time he wished she did. When Maurice was thrown behind bars, Belle decided to rescue him. She finally found him in Beast's castle and asked if she could take his place. Her father absolutely didn't want her to do that, but she forced him to accept. And this is how the young woman was trapped in the castle of the monster. Everyone was happy in the end, and Belle even chose to stay in the castle with her prince. But what if she had really been a bad girl instead of being a hero? When you see how Nata Street Art reimagined her, you know that it is impossible for anyone to think that this girl is strange. She is cooler than ever. Maybe this is what happens when you marry a handsome, rich man in the 21st century. Tiana. This young lady didn't have time to break the rules in any way. Since she was a child, she dreamed of opening a restaurant with her father. And when he passed away, it wasn't time for her to do all the things she ever wanted to do. Instead, she wanted to make him proud and work hard to start her own business. This is why, instead of partying, Tiana was working as a waitress in a restaurant. She barely had time to fully enjoy life, but she thought that she would be doing this later. Then one day, a frog offered her all the money she needed to make her dream come true. Tiana finally accepted to kiss that random boy, and she immediately regretted it. That crazy adventure ended up being one of the best things that ever happened in her life. But we think that what she likes most is having the chance to work hard again in her restaurant. However, if the princess doesn't have time to act like a bad girl, she at least has time to look like a bad girl, as she was reimagined on Disney Hardcore. With her black dress, her cool piercings, and all the tattoos, she doesn't look like a princess like any other. With Naveen's playful personality, we think that they will make the perfect couple. Elsa. The princess had always been different, but she thought that it was a bad thing. Elsa was embracing her powers as a kid, but after hurting her little sister, she thought that it was better to stay away from others. This is why, instead of being true to who she is, she decided to lock herself in her room. Anna was probably the most disappointed to have lost her sister during all these years. But all kids have to rebel at some point in their lives, and Elsa did it a little too late. After being crowned queen, her sister made her a little angry, and this is when she revealed her power to everyone. Not able to face this situation, Elsa simply ran away, leaving her responsibilities behind and giving herself the chance to do whatever she wants. Elsa finally came back to Arendelle to save everyone. But everything would have been way less complicated if it happened during her teenage years when her parents were there to help her. But what would she look like at that time if she had the chance to do anything she wants? When you see how this artist reimagined her on Disney Hardcore, you can easily understand that Elsa needed to let go of a lot of things. She doesn't look like a nice girl anymore, and we love to see that she finally dares to be herself. Jasmine. She was probably one of the luckiest princesses on our list, but that doesn't mean that she was happy. Jasmine had everything she ever wanted in her palace except one thing: freedom. And it just became worse when she understood that she would soon be forced to marry someone, even if she hadn't found the love of her life yet. This is why she decided to leave everything behind and escape her palace. It wasn't the best decision, as she didn't know anything about the outside world. But she was lucky to be saved by Aladdin, who always does his best to help the people in need. And he also gave her what she needed the most: the freedom to fly away on a magic carpet and discover a whole new world. Jasmine finally broke the rules a little to marry a thief, and this is how they lived happily ever after. But what if Jasmine decided to be a bad girl even though she has to stay in the palace? Here's how Nada Street Art reimagined her. Her father probably isn't happy to see that his daughter is smoking and wearing a really provocative outfit. But at least she's at home, and that's all that matters. Will Aladdin be even more intimidated by her new look? Only the future will tell what will happen between these two. Snow White. As the youngest Disney princess, Snow White was barely a teenager when her life changed forever. She could have been a spoiled kid being born in a royal family. When her parents passed away, her evil stepmother decided that this child shouldn't be so lucky after all. This is why she decided to dress her in rags and force her to work as a servant. Cleaning the floors and washing the dishes every day, the best thing she could ever do was dreaming. But things changed when the evil queen decided to get rid of her, and Snow White had to run away in the forest. While she lived with the 7 dwarfs, the only rule she ever broke was trusting a stranger who gave her an apple. And it ended up being one of the worst mistakes she ever made, because she passed away before being saved by a prince. But what if she were a little luckier when she decided to be a bad girl? Let's take a look at how Nada Street Art reimagined her. Snow White is still the fairest of them all, but this time, she clearly knows it. This is why she keeps taking selfies in her bedroom. We think that her parents might still be alive in the modern world because we can't imagine her stepmother giving her an iPhone, even though she will probably give her another Apple product, a poisoned one. Cinderella. When you work as a servant, you don't have a lot of time to rebel. That didn't keep Cinderella from trying to go to the ball. Her friends the mice made her a dress, and she was ready to party. Unfortunately, her evil stepsisters and stepmother quickly made sure that she couldn't even be dreaming anymore. Her fairy godmother saw that it was unfair, and this is why she decided to give the young woman everything she needed to go to the ball and meet the love of her life. Cinderella was a teenager like any other, after all. She ran away from her home without asking her mother's permission and decided to party all night with a boy. However, there is one rule that shouldn't be broken, and it's not just coming back home after midnight. It's talking to strangers. If they had known each other's names, they wouldn't be strangers anymore, and it would have been way easier to find each other. But would Prince Charming recognize Cinderella with her new look as reimagined by Ashi Monster? With her pink hair, piercing, and choker necklace, she finally has the chance to look like the bad girl she always wanted to be. It's no surprise that the prince had to make her try on a shoe to see if it fits. The size of her foot is the only thing that didn't change. Rapunzel. Trapped in a tower for almost 18 years, it's no surprise that Rapunzel would like to become a bad girl. But during all her teenage years, she had always been Mommy's little girl. Rapunzel woke up at 7 a.m. to clean her room, she loved reading, and she always baked some cookies. That's the kind of daughter that most parents want. But most importantly, she never cut her long blonde hair to make sure that her mother could use its magic power to stay young forever. We can't blame the princess for being too nice and always obeying her rules. The only reason why she didn't escape was that her mother lied to her about the outside world. But as soon as she got a chance to be free and jumped out of the window, she never looked back. Being a bad girl was the best thing to do, after all. Now, let's see what Rapunzel would look like if she was not a nice girl anymore, as reimagined on Disney Hardcore. Instead of painting her walls, her body is covered with tattoos. She also dyed her hair white, which probably took days and was really expensive. We bet that this modern-day Rapunzel still lives with her parents because Mother Gothel would never let her do that to her magical hair. Pocahontas. This young Native American was lucky to have all the freedom that she wanted when she was a teenager. At any time of the day, she could just walk away into the forest and discover the beauty of nature with her friends Miko and Flit. Unfortunately, growing up means more responsibilities, and Pocahontas feared to have to marry Kocoum, a brave warrior who was too serious for her free-spirited personality. It's also at that time that the English came to America, and the young woman couldn't keep herself from breaking the rules. Curious to learn more about the world of these white men, she met John Smith, and they quickly became friends. This relationship is what saved everyone at the end, but the two lovers were finally separated, and it is better this way. So we have seen a young Pocahontas who grew up in nature, but what if she was born at the beginning of the 21st century? We don't recognize this Native American girl anymore, now that we see how Nada Street Art reimagined her. She is living in a big city and loves Starbucks and macarons. And when it comes to exploring the world, all she needs is to turn to her computer. We bet that Pocahontas is talking to cute boys all around the world online. It's always great to discover different cultures. Moana. This young woman always wanted to break the rules since she was a child. She was fascinated by the sea, but unfortunately, her parents wouldn't let her go anywhere near water. That didn't stop Moana from one day going on a big adventure. It wasn't easy the first time, and we thought that we would never see her on a boat again, but Moana didn't give up. She found out that she was the chosen one and knew that she was the only one who could save her tribe. It wasn't only about reuniting a mystical relic with a goddess, but also finding out who she truly was. Moana almost gave up, begging the ocean to take the heart and choose someone else. But she finally understood that there was a reason why she was chosen, and she was finally the one who saved everyone, with the help of demigod Maui. Being a teenager is another big challenge, and some young women face it by being a bad girl. That's the case for this modern-day Moana, as Nata Street Art reimagined her. This time, her parents won't stop her from going to the beach, but from wearing something that might be a little too mature for her age. If you could choose one princess who could be a part of a remake in the 21st century, who would it be? Don't be shy to tell us what you think in the comments section down below.
In Disney movies, we get to see our favorite princesses finally find their happily ever after. But not much is known about their lives once these movies come to an end. Aren't you curious to see what Elsa, Tiana, Ariel, and the rest of the princesses are up to now? Well, we found photos from the next stage of their lives, motherhood. You won't believe what their kids look like, especially Merida's bundles of joy. If you're new to our channel, make sure to subscribe and give us a big thumbs up. Today, we'll be showing you the adorable photos of 10 Disney princesses reimagined as parents. Elsa. Queen Elsa doesn't ride off into the sunset with her handsome king once Frozen comes to an end. However, that doesn't mean this Disney character lived the rest of her royal life all alone. Thankfully, an artist by the name of Isaiah Stevens has given us a glimpse into Elsa's life as a mother. And we must say she's handling motherhood perfectly. In this photo, Elsa is spending some quality time with her little baby boy. The look in her eyes is priceless. She's beaming with joy, and so much pride motherhood really completes her, don't you think? And her beautiful baby boy has all of Elsa's features, including her big blue eyes and her wispy blonde hair. But not only that, it appears that Elsa's son was also born with the unique ability to make ice and snow. Just check out the little snow flurries coming from his tiny little hand. It just warms our hearts to see Elsa all grown up and embracing this new stage of her life. And looking at this photo really makes us wonder who her king is. Wouldn't it be awesome if Disney released a new movie that's focused on Elsa's life as a wife and mom? We think so. Ariel. Disney fans were already introduced to Ariel's daughter Melody in the film The Little Mermaid 2: Return to the Sea. But judging by these artists' renditions, our favorite mermaid and Prince Eric decided to expand their family after Ariel gave birth to Melody. And now, they're a family of 4. In this photo, the artist, Linnea Asperg, created a stunning family portrait of Ariel, Eric, Melody, and baby Pontus. Just like most of the character names in The Little Mermaid, Pontus was named after the pre-Olympian sea god in Greek mythology. They all look so happy and content as they hang around in the sea. But if you think this picture is breathtaking, you ain't seen nothing yet. We have another photo of Ariel and Pontus that really tug at your heartstrings. Artist Isaiah Stevens created this candid moment between Ariel and her little baby boy. In the photo, the mermaid is feeding her royal prince, but it looks like he's more focused on having a food fight instead. Thankfully, Ariel is able to keep her composure and embrace the joys of motherhood, no matter how messy things may get. Her little boy looks like a handful, doesn't he? We wonder where he gets his playful nature from. Cinderella. Cinderella's early childhood was heartbreaking. She was forced to be raised by her evil stepmother, and she spent most of her childhood cleaning and scrubbing floors instead of being a real kid. But we always knew deep down in our hearts that Cinderella would grow up to be an amazing mother. We know she would never dream of treating her own child in such a cruel and unfair way. In the film, she's always so kind and patient despite her rocky upbringing. She would never even harm a fly, or a mouse for that matter. We're curious to see what her life is like after marrying the love of her life and having a baby. How about you? Well, the artist Linnea has answered our wishes once again. In this photo, Cinderella, her prince, and their son are having a bit of fun outside the palace. He's the spitting image of his father, don't you think? What do you think they named their little boy? Well, according to the artist, his name is Jacob. He was named after one of the co-authors of the original Cinderella fairy tale. We're so happy the princess is now able to live a calm and peaceful life surrounded by nothing but love. Mulan. It looks like Mulan is finally ready to step away from the warrior life. She's leaving the battling behind to embrace a brand new adventure. She and Shang had a bumpy relationship in the film Mulan 2, but it looks like they're back on track. They're now happier than ever, bringing peace to the two Chinese kingdoms. These days, the couple is embarking on a journey to become parents. In this photo from the artist Isaiah, it looks like Mulan is in the final stages of her pregnancy. And just take a look at her face. She's absolutely glowing. She looks so calm and relaxed. We definitely think she's ready for all that will come along with motherhood. It also helps that Shang is there with her every step of the way. He looks so proud that the love of his life will be giving birth to their mini warrior. If they have a boy, we expect he'll be just as great of a leader as his dad. But if they have a girl, we're pretty sure she'll be bold, confident, and brave, just like Mulan. Parenthood will be one of the hardest battles of their lives, but we don't have any doubt that these two lovebirds will be amazing parents. Merida. Merida is the only Disney princess who doesn't have any sisters, but we're sure she didn't mind one bit. Growing up, she was raised with her triplet brothers, Harris, Hubert, and Hamish. These three little boys were always full of mischief, like the time they were caught fiddling with the trophies in Fergus's trophy room. Merida was probably looking forward to the day when she was an adult and living out on her own without her annoying little brothers pestering her. But triplets obviously run in Merida's family, so it's really no surprise that now she's all grown up, she's the mother of triplets too. This drawing was created by an artist named Chabe Escalante. It looks like motherhood is really getting the best of Merida, doesn't it? She's potty training her triplets, and instead of using the potty, they decided to scribble their self-portraits on the wall instead. These little girls definitely take after their uncles. But the best part about Merida having three brothers is they give her a little break by stepping in and taking turns babysitting the little girls. We hope parenthood gets easier for Merida as her triplets get a bit older. But for now, they're definitely giving her a hard time. Jasmine. Next up, we have Princess Jasmine. Artist Isaiah once again put his imagination to the test by creating an amazing reimagined photo. In the film, Jasmine fell head over heels for Aladdin, who's far from being a royal. Despite their two different upbringings, Aladdin and Jasmine fell in love, and now they're about to be parents. Since they come from two walks of life, we think their personalities will mix together perfectly. Their child is bound to have all of their amazing personality traits, from Jasmine's free-spiritedness to Aladdin's kind-hearted nature. In this photo of the loving couple, Jasmine looks as beautiful as ever. She has ditched her midriff-bearing outfits for a beautiful tank top and a flowing skirt, but she's still looking as stylish as ever with her matching headband and her flawless makeup. And just look at the excitement on Aladdin's face. He can't wait to be a dad and hold his new baby in his arms. Aside from having two awesome parents, their new baby will also have a friend in Jasmine's pet tiger, Raja. We're sure he will be fiercely protective of the family's new bundle of joy. Tiana. With two caring and supportive parents in her life, it's no wonder Tiana grew up wanting to be an amazing parent too. The main character in The Princess and the Frog had all the traits of a good mother. She was hardworking, an awesome cook, and very kind to everyone she came in contact with. We always wondered what Tiana and Prince Naveen's lives would be like after their Disney fairy tale came to an end. Thankfully, we don't have to wonder any longer. The artist Linnea has created a beautiful portrait of Tiana and her family. Are you ready to see it? Well, here it is. How cute does the couple look as they play with their beautiful baby girl in the bayou? They're all decked out in their all-green outfits, and they're looking as happy as ever. Their baby girl also appears to be wearing a miniature-sized version of Tiana's iconic green ball gown. Now that's what we call twinning. According to the artist, the baby girl's name is Stella, which means star. And Stella is absolutely the star of this family and the apple of her parents' eye. Rapunzel. In the movie Tangled, Rapunzel is forced to live her life behind the walls of the tower, and she's convinced that only bad things happen in the outside world. In the film, Rapunzel sang the song, "When Will My Life Begin?" Well, the answer is now. Long gone are the days when the princess was bored of her dull life. As depicted by the artist Isaiah, Rapunzel is now an adult and living life with her new family. We already saw Elsa beaming with pride at her little boy, and Mulan glowing in her last stages of pregnancy. However, Rapunzel is experiencing the messier side of motherhood. In this image, she's changing her baby's diaper while her hubby Flynn Rider ducks for cover. While Rapunzel is handling this typical mommy duty like a champ, Flynn is doing his best to mask the stench with a gas mask strapped to his face. Well, he better get used to the smell of dirty diapers because it looks like Rapunzel is enjoying every minute with her new baby. We wouldn't be surprised if the couple decided to add on to their family by having another, and another, and another. With her natural healing powers, her baby doesn't have to worry about any cuts or bruises while learning how to ride a bike when they get older. And the child doesn't have to worry about making new friends anytime soon. They instantly gained a BFF through Rapunzel's closest friend, Pascal. Pocahontas. Pocahontas' life journey was far from over when the Disney film came to an end. In 1998, Disney released a sequel called Pocahontas 2: Journey to a New World, and it depicted an unfortunate ending to the princess and John Smith's romance. In the movie, John Smith went missing. Pocahontas was upset, but she was forced to move on with her life. She set out on a voyage to England to meet with King James, and that's where she met a man named John Rolfe. Later on in the film, John Smith is finally located, and he begs for Pocahontas to run away with him. But as the saying goes, it was too little, too late. Pocahontas fell in love with John Rolfe, and they moved to Jamestown to start their lives together. Now that we've got that out of the way, we have a photo of Pocahontas that we can't wait to show you. Are you ready to see what she looks like as a mom? Well, take a look at her now. Isn't this photo absolutely beautiful? The new mom is catching some Z's while her baby naps in her arms. They look so calm and peaceful together. We're sure Pocahontas is a wonderful mommy, and if she ever needs any parenting advice or guidance, she can always turn to Grandmother Willow. Snow White. We couldn't make this video without including one of the most popular princesses of them all, Snow White. She may be one of the youngest Disney princesses in the lineup, but she's wise beyond her years. Snow White has a calm and quiet personality that makes her a favorite amongst her furry friends and the 7 dwarfs. We're positive that not only would she make a good wife to the prince, but we know she'd make a great mother too. The artist Linnea Asberg decided to completely recreate Snow White and turn her into a dotting mom. Are you ready to see what her life is like now? Well, here she is. In this picture, the princess is holding on tight to her baby while her prince looks at them both with so much love in his eyes. But take a look at their adorable little girl. She looks like Snow White's identical twin. She has the same jet black hair, the same wide and expressive eyes, and identical rosy cheeks. According to the artist, the baby's name is Ada, which means kind. And we're sure she'll grow up to be just as kind as her mom too. Now that baby Ada has arrived into the world, she has probably already been greeted by all of Snow White's friends, including the 7 dwarfs. When the prince and princess are in need of some alone time, we're sure the dwarfs wouldn't mind entertaining the baby for a few hours. Now that's a clever movie idea we'd love to see on the big screen.
The lives of our favorite Disney princesses changed forever when they were teenagers, but we were curious to know what happened when they were kids and toddlers before meeting their Prince Charming. This is why we imagined what their lives would be like. If this is your first time visiting our channel, don't forget to subscribe and please give this video a big thumbs up. Today we are showing you 10 Disney princesses reimagined as kids. Snow White. She's the first Disney princess and also the youngest. At only 14 years old, her childhood is not too far behind her. Snow White was born to a royal family. Unfortunately, she didn't have the chance to live the life of a princess. Her mother passed away after birth, only living long enough to give her that beautiful name. Then her father remarried a cold-hearted queen, only to join Snow White's mother shortly after. The evil queen cared about nothing other than being the fairest of them all, and when she saw that the little girl was becoming more beautiful every day, she became jealous. This is why she dressed the child in rags and forced her to work as a maid. So when we saw how an artist reimagined Snow White wearing that beautiful dress, we understand why the evil queen was afraid of the competition. The princess is prettier than ever, and we think that she should already be the fairest of them all, even at a very young age. She is also wearing the tiara that she deserves and seems to be going outside for a picnic instead of doing chores. Maybe this is what Snow White would look like if she had been raised by her parents. But everything happens for a reason, so this life of misery might just be what she had to go through to meet the prince and live happily ever after. Cinderella. Here is another princess who was treated like a servant, this time until she was 19 years old. Cinderella was born to wealthy parents who loved her and lived in a beautiful castle. Her life changed when her mother passed away, and her father remarried another woman to make sure her daughter had a mother figure in her life. The young girl would have been happier with a single father because her stepmother turned out to be a horrible woman. When her father passed away, Cinderella was left alone. This is when she realized how cruel she could be. Lady Tremaine spoiled her two daughters, Anastasia and Drizella, and forced the young orphan to work as a slave. No matter what, Cinderella had the strength to stay sweet, humble, and kind. But what if this stepmother decided to treat her like her own daughter instead? This is how the artist reimagined her. She doesn't need the help of mice or a fairy godmother anymore. The young girl is already wearing a gorgeous dress that she received for her birthday, and she's also wearing a tiara herself because even if she's not a princess yet, she thinks that she deserves to be treated like one. And she's right. Every child should be the most important thing in the world to their parents.
If you want to watch just one more video, the Premium is the platform where you should go. Get early access to videos from The Things, The Taco, The Trendy, The Richest, and many other great channels in one place with ad-free browsing. Click this link to sign up for the Premium and get ready to binge watch videos from your favorite channels.
Aurora. Her story is similar to what Snow White lived, falling in a deep sleep and being saved by the kiss of a prince. But these two princesses had really different childhoods. A king and a queen had been blessed by a beautiful blonde daughter. People from all around the kingdom came to celebrate her birth. 3 of them were fairies, giving her the gift of beauty and the gift of singing. But before the third fairy could use her magic wand, Maleficent appeared and cursed the young princess. Her life would end when she would prick her finger on a spinning wheel. The third fairy used the last gift to give Aurora the chance to be saved by the prince. To make sure that she was safe, the young blonde girl was raised by the 3 fairies until she was 16 years old. And as we can see from this picture, they took good care of her. Young Aurora is full of energy. She is not the kind of kid who will be able to sleep too early. As we can see, the fairies finally decided that she would be wearing a pink dress. But we bet that they will change their minds soon and argue to make the princess laugh. This little family is proof that even if your parents don't have the chance to see you grow up, what matters most is that you can stay with people who love you. Ariel. This beautiful sea creature lived a childhood unlike any other, until she decided to live on land at the age of 16. The Little Mermaid was the 7th and youngest daughter of King Triton, ruler of Atlantica. She seemed to have all the things she needed, but this wasn't enough for her. All her life she collected little treasures that belonged to humans and dreamed of one day walking on the land. She spent her day exploring the sea, looking for another object that sunk under the water. Unfortunately, this admiration for the human world was not appreciated, so she had to keep it secret from other sea creatures. Sebastian and Flounder were the only ones who knew about this, and as we can see, they have been friends for a very long time. The yellow and blue fish was already by her side when she was a little mermaid. Ariel seems to be a funny kid. We bet that she spends all day discovering new places and finding objects that would help her understand our world. Her father is probably nervous every time she leaves because he doesn't know when she'll come back. And we understand why he is. She's the kind of girl who can exchange her voice for a pair of legs and almost disappear forever for a stranger. We better watch this little girl or teenage Ariel will get into trouble really quickly. Belle. The young woman is one of the lucky princesses who had the chance to live a beautiful child until her life changed at age 17. Her mother came from a wealthy family but passed away shortly after the birth of her daughter, and Maurice was left with the most precious thing he could ever find, Belle. She had the chance to be raised by a loving father, and she probably had a lot of unusual toys to play with when we see all the crazy things he can create. But what she loved most was reading. As soon as she learned how to read, Belle couldn't keep herself from opening a new book and being transported into a new universe. In this picture, you can see Belle wearing her most beautiful dress. This is not the girl we saw at the beginning of the movie, but the one that Maurice saw in her. His princess. She means the world to him. Little Belle is not interested in any boy because her father is the most important thing in her life. He is the one who encourages her to follow her dreams, and he knows that women were born to be more than just a pretty face. They are both a little weird, but also very smart, and this is why they have an amazing relationship. Jasmine. She seems to be one of the most fortunate princesses on our list, but her life was not as beautiful as it seems. Aladdin, the street urchin, was envious of her luxurious life, but there was one thing missing for her to be happy. As the daughter of the Sultan, Jasmine had to live in the palace. She didn't have the right to leave her royal home or meet other people. Her mother passed away years ago, and the only friend that she was left with was her pet tiger Raja. The princess thought it was a gift from her mother, as she used to tell her stories of the tiger star. Jasmine wanted to see the world and experience life outside, so we think it was probably difficult for her to live on her own as a child. And this artist reimagined her as a dreamer who can't wait to go outside. Even if her father gives her all the things she needs, this is not what little Jasmine wants. She just wants to do what all the other kids do. But no matter what, we know that her father, the Sultan, loves her very much. He just doesn't have the time to show it. The only thing missing is the magic in her eyes, and Aladdin will one day make her discover a whole new world. Mulan. This girl is not a princess like any other. Actually, she isn't even one. But she has all the qualities she needs to rule the world and become a queen, even if she's just 16 years old. Born and raised in China, Mulan had to respect a lot of traditions. She was told that the girls must be pretty, be graceful, and know how to serve tea. They are not supposed to fight, they said. Her family wanted to turn her into the perfect housewife, waiting for the day she would meet her future husband. But this is not what clumsy and free-spirited Mulan wanted. When we see how Irene Martini reimagined her, we know that her dreams actually are bigger than that. This girl knows that being a kid is about having fun and experimenting, and she doesn't want to play with dolls. She wants to play outside, even if it means getting dirty in the mud and ruining her beautiful dress. She is not shy to say that she is one of the boys. Anyway, she never thought that wearing girls' clothes was comfortable. As a kid, she is not shy to be herself, but she could get prepared for all the challenges waiting for her in the future. Daring is her biggest strength, so make sure that you don't stand in the way of this stubborn kid who knows what she wants and how to get it. Tiana. The more we watched Disney princess movies, the more we wanted to hear about their childhoods. This is why Tiana was one of the first young women that we really got the chance to see as a kid. With her best friend Charlotte, she listened to the classic tale of a princess kissing a frog, and she was disgusting. Tiana was not interested in boys, but in learning new things with her father. James is the one who taught her how to cook while they were making their favorite recipe. They dreamed of opening a restaurant together, but Hugh reminded her that she had to work hard. And when he passed away, 19-year-old Tiana never let go of her dream. This princess reimagined by an artist doesn't know yet what it's like to have tons of responsibilities. This little dreamer still has a lot of energy. Wishing can only get her halfway to her dream, and this is what she's working on right now. Little Tiana doesn't know what's going to happen to her father now, but he will be forever a source of inspiration for her. Merida. We know what it's like to become a teenager and get more distant with our parents. Merida is no exception. When she was a kid, she had a close relationship with her father and mother. Always ready to have fun, she would play hide and seek with the woman who raised her. But what she loved most was archery. We wouldn't let a child play with a bow and arrow, but this one is extremely skilled. The redhead was also really curious and naive, believing the myths and legends of her kingdom. Little did she know, she would soon become the hero of her own fairy tale story. The little Merida, reimagined by Irene Martini, is still very affectionate. She loves to cuddle with her bear, which could represent the relationship she had with her mother at the time. This little girl is not really stubborn yet because her parents let her do whatever she wants. She doesn't have to think about looking like a proper lady, and everything is perfect like that. We hope she enjoys her childhood as much as she can because she will soon have to face the responsibilities of being an adult. We think that 16-year-old Merida we know is still close to her inner child because she acts like one. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't you think these little humans often look much happier than grown-ups? Rapunzel. We won't forget about the princess who had a really unusual childhood. Before her birth, her mother was sick and had to eat a magic golden flower with healing properties. This is how Rapunzel got her powers, but Mother Gothel wanted it to be hers. When she saw she couldn't just cut the blonde hair, she decided to take the baby instead. This evil witch locked the child in a tower until her 16th birthday. But even when she was on her own, Rapunzel was never alone. She had her friend Pascal to make her laugh and her creativity to transform her room into another universe. We can see her energy shine when we take a look at the princess reimagined by an artist. She learned to be happy with the little things and can turn anything into a funny activity. Her hair is not long enough for her to jump out of the tower, but she is preparing herself for this crazy adventure by dreaming out loud. Painting and reading are great ways to escape, and this time, this is certainly something we can relate to. Is there any princess who looked like you as a kid? Don't be shy to tell us in the comment section below. We'd love to hear what you think.
Disney princesses have become iconic throughout the ages. From their facial features features to their hair, their looks are pretty unique. But what if their faces and clothes were different? Would you still be able to tell them apart? Now is the time to see these characters as you may have never seen them before. Just wait until you see the Disney princesses reimagined as dinosaurs. If you're new to our channel, don't forget to click the subscribe button and give our video a big thumbs up. Get ready to be stunned because today we are going to show you 15 Disney princesses reimagined by amazing artists. Abstract princesses. This section is dedicated to the abstract collective of artists who have taken unique liberties with their reinterpretations of Disney princesses. One artist shows just the hair outline of several Disney princesses dressed in suits from Quentin Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs. This one is of dung beetles playing atop Disney princesses' heads, and this one presents them as a series of dryer lint. Take a look at this hysterical mustache series, and this wacky inflatable wailing arms one. Our favorite though is this wrestling match of Cinderella flying through the air. When it comes to the weird and wacky of Disney reimagining, these images definitely take the cake. Gender-swapped princesses. Princesses aren't the only ones with distinct styles in Disney films. The gentlemen of these films have a distinct style all their own. What would you think if the princesses and princes swapped outfits? A Japanese digital artist created some amazing conceptual designs depicting just that. He says he loves Disney and draws these for fun and respect of the originals. He seeks no profit. How cool are these outfits of our favorite girls? The Princess and the Frog's Tiana looks super cute in Naveen's clothes. Belle and Ariel look very dapper in Eric and Beast's clothes. Esmeralda, Pocahontas, and Mulan are looking mighty fierce and ready for battle in their outfits. It looks like these princesses can rock just about any outfit. Anyway, all we can say is thank you for these creations. Princesses as men. So we had some fun looking at Disney princesses dressing in their princess outfits, and we totally loved them. So, what would our favorite princesses look like if they were men? One extremely talented artist named Sakimi-chan accomplished just that when she gender-swapped the Disney princesses. Here is a male version of Elsa from Frozen, and we totally love this gender-swapped Belle and Beast. Beast is looking very pretty. Pocahontas and Ariel are looking extremely handsome, and how cute are their companions, Miko and Flounder. The details and color in Sakimi's work are flawless and amazing. We definitely want to see more of Chan's work. How cool would it be to do the films over with these characters? Real-size princesses. Disney princesses are world-renowned for their breathtaking beauty, sweeping through the streets singing and twirling in gowns. But are Disney princesses' slim figures realistic? Or is it a distorted vision of what a woman is to look like? This Tumblr artist, who goes by the name The Nameless Doll, wanted to combat the unrealistic proportions, particularly the tiny waistlines that the Disney princesses have. The Nameless Doll's version of Belle has more realistic proportions. Striking, isn't it? Here is Frozen's Anna before and after. This is Rapunzel from Tangled before, and here she is after. For years, fans have called on Disney to bring a more realistic Disney princess to the screen. After seeing these, maybe they will take the hint their princesses might be fuller, but gorgeous nonetheless. Rebel princesses. The princesses of Disney have a reputation of being sweet and innocent, with not a mean bone in their body. Sure, they have sass and can throw a mean punch, but they aren't full-fledged troublemakers. The princesses' innocence and naivety of the world tend to lead them to fall into trouble, then sometimes end up in jail, captured by evil villains, or worse, almost dead. Thankfully, the prince saved Snow White with that kiss. But what would these princesses look like if they were more rebellious? Thanks to Evie art, we don't have to wonder. Check out Gothic Belle, Glam Cinderella, Hipster Jasmine, Pinup Snow, Rebellious Tink, and Hipster Ariel. Most of these princesses are unrecognizable, but that doesn't stop them from looking good. Star Wars princesses. With new Star Wars films coming out, the fandom is growing even more. We love Star Wars, and we love Disney princesses, so why not combine the two? Talented artist Ralph Sevelius did just that. Take a look at Jedi Ariel and her double lightsabers. Elsa as a Sith Ice Queen and Snow White as a Sith Lord are amazing. We bet that they would rule the galaxy, except when Jedi Ariel comes around with her Padawan, Rapunzel. Her lightsaber is part of her long hair. How creative is Ralph? Aurora is perfect as frozen carbonite Han Solo. She is Sleeping Beauty in the most Star Wars way possible. With Star Wars now being owned by Disney, we wonder if this mashup will ever become a reality. Bearded Princesses. This next reimagining series might just be the most weirdly satisfying and unsettling of them all. Illustrator Adam Ellis developed an entire series of Disney princesses with plush beards. They were created in honor of Movember, where men don't shave for the entire month of November to raise awareness for men's health. Adam's images are just as fun as the titles he has for them, such as this Disney film entitled The Bearded Mermaid. Look at Ariel with those flowing red locks on her chin. Or Princess Mustachorella talking with her fairy godmother. Alice in Beardland, Beauty and the Beard, and Beardahontas. Just take a look at Sleeping Beardy, Longbeard, The Princess and the Beard, and Beardlantis, The Lost Empire. And who could forget the all-time classic Beardladen, featuring Princess Jazzbeard. We can tell Adam had a lot of fun creating these. Presidential princesses. The princesses of Disney are far removed from the political landscape of the world. They live in their castles, palaces, and even under the sea. They long for living extravagant, dreamy lives with no desires of standing in front of a podium. They don't want to give long-winded speeches full of never-to-be-filled promises for the people. However, in 2016, MTV decided to bring these two worlds crashing into one another. MTV commissioned artist Annabelle Coe to combine her love of Disney characters with 2016 presidential hopefuls, and the resulting portraits are wildly hysterical. Carly Fiorina as Princess Jasmine, Mike Huckabee as Tiana, Jeb Bush as Ariel, and Ted Cruz as Snow White, Bernie Sanders as human Ariel, Hillary Clinton as Cinderella, and Donald Trump as Grumpy Sleeping Beauty. These images can't be unseen, but we love how hilarious they are. Makeup artist gone rogue. Growing up, it's hard to escape never seeing a Disney film. Once you've seen one, you typically fall into the love it or leave it category. This next artist is a prime example, except their artistic interpretation exceeds the realm of pencil to paper. Richard Schaefer is a 22-year-old freelance makeup artist who transforms himself into princesses from his favorite Disney movies. This guy has some serious skills. I mean, just look at all these pictures. Belle, Pocahontas, Snow White, Cinderella, and Ariel. The list goes on and on. Richard says dressing up has helped him to feel more confident as a person. With over 250 followers on Instagram, it sure shows. Reinvented princesses. For those of you who spend hours every day surfing through the endless array of Instagram feeds, you have probably already come across the work of Isabel Staub. She is a freelance illustrator who blew up Instagram with crisp reimaginings of the classic Disney princesses. She says each of these images took her around 8 to 12 hours to recreate the ladies' fresh, bold looks. The entire process is done in Corel Painter, and a few last touch-ups done with Photoshop. Here is Esmeralda from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Now, we know she's not technically a princess, but with this makeover, she is looking absolutely royal. How about adorable Belle with those cheeks? Jasmine's highlight and contour are positively radiant. And how about Ariel? Check out those pouty lips and shiny hair. And how about those wide blue eyes? Oof, what a reimagining. Realistic princesses. Just when you thought something reimagined countless different ways couldn't be reinvented anymore, along comes Jirka Vaitanen. He is a 27-year-old graphic artist based in Melbourne, Australia. His stunning interpretations created a firestorm over the internet. He turned our favorite Disney princesses into real people. So if you've ever wondered what they would look like as real-life people, this is for you. Take a look at a real-life portrait of Princess Anna, complete with adorable freckles. This one of Rapunzel pulling on her hair, or Merida from Brave. She seems so real with her curls down to the freckles and wrinkles in the dress. It's easy to forget that these are not real photographs. But he doesn't just stop at princesses. Take a look at Eric from The Little Mermaid, Prince Hans and Kristoff of Frozen, and adorable Prince Naveen. If only they were real. Mommy princesses. After our favorite princesses got their happily ever afters, we wish we could still see more of their lives. What happens when their dreams come true? Do they start families? One artist takes us through the journey of motherhood with our favorite princesses. Artist Kristen Reeves was inspired to reimagine her favorite Disney princesses as mothers when she was pregnant with her own son. Check out Belle's sweet embrace with her sweet baby. Ariel looks so happy holding her tiny daughter. Jasmine's adorable baby looks quite content being in her arms. How adorable are the pigtails on Rapunzel's daughter? We love these sweet moments of motherhood. The soft, more subdued colors are totally working for these tender moments. It looks like motherhood suits these princesses very well. We also love to see that our princesses have equally adorable babies. Velosa princesses. With the release of the new Jurassic World film, our love of dinosaurs has been re-sparked. Our favorite dinosaurs in the film? The velociraptors. Artist Laura Cooper decided that she would commemorate the release of Jurassic World by reimagining princesses as raptors. She says that a princess is many things, and a raptor is one of them. She took this concept literally and gave us this series of hysterical raptors. Look at Anna and Elsa raptors. We love the Merida raptor, whose face is covered with red curly hair. Belle raptor still looks lovely in her yellow ball gown, as does Tiana raptor. And how about Raptor Pocahontas and that flowing hair? These raptors are not only clever, but also hilarious. We hope Laura continues making all future Disney characters into hungry raptors. Rock princesses. Through the ages of Disney films, princesses have played a part in every child's development growing up, one way or another. There really is no escaping the vortex, which is Walt Disney. For this very reason, a lot of people in the world actually despise princesses. They feel princesses are bad role models and contain no substance, as they're usually trapped by the bad guy. This concept of no substance was taken quite literally by artist Kevin Bulk. He created a series of princesses as rocks. You heard that right, rocks. He took one of the most recognizable features of these princesses, their hair, and put it on top of rocks. We can still recognize them just by their signature look. This concept is hysterical as it is ironic. Clever one, Kevin. Clever. Punk rock princesses. Disney princesses are known for being songbirds, as well as being beautiful. But what would happen if we gave our favorite princesses a taste of some punk rock and heavy metal music? What would their songs sound like? What would they look like? A couple of artists have reimagined the princesses as princesses of punk rock and metal. Check out Ariel's bright pink hair, dark makeup, and tattoos. We are totally jealous of Belle's awesome two-toned blue hair. How cute does Rapunzel look with her long pink hair? The dark makeup and long lashes around Anna's eyes make them look even bigger. This reimagining is a huge departure from the usual Disney princess, but it is so much fun to see. We aren't too sure Disney is quite ready for some heavy metal ballads just yet.
We can never get enough of Disney princesses, and once again, talented artists reimagined our favorite characters. Miriam Safdar and Andrew Pina recreated pictures of the princesses and other characters as Japanese cartoons. And we have to admit that they look even more beautiful and funnier than the originals. Just wait until you see what Aurora looks like when she is sleeping. If this is your first time visiting our channel, don't forget to subscribe and please give this video a big thumbs up. Today we are showing you 15 Disney princesses reimagined as anime. Rapunzel. The princess spent 18 years alone in a tower trapped by a witch. And not a shame for everyone who didn't get a chance to see how beautiful and kind the young girl was. That is until Flynn Rider entered her room and gave her the opportunity to discover the outside world. But because we can never get enough of her, Miriam Safdar imagined her as an anime character, and the princess is even more beautiful now that we can see more details. She still has the long blonde hair and traditional German purple dress, but this time her beautiful green eyes are shinier and we even see her freckles. And by the look of her face, she is just about to escape her tower and discover a wonderful world. Do you wish you could see anime Rapunzel going on an adventure? Cinderella. In this rags to riches story, we had the chance to see a poor servant become the most beautiful princess in the kingdom. With the help of a fairy godmother who dressed her in a beautiful dress, the prince immediately fell in love with her. So to make sure the princess will be happy ever after, Miriam Safdar recreated the young woman wearing her most beautiful outfit as an anime character. Her eyes are bright blue and her hair is a little messier, but she is even more beautiful with all these added details. She looks even more grown up now. She is 19 years old after all. With this more realistic and updated look, the young woman will be ready for prom in 2017. Do you think she would be crowned prom queen? No matter what, in a fairy tale or real life, Cinderella would deserve a crown on her head. Alice. She might not be a princess, but she looks just like one. And this time, she didn't have to wait for a prince to go on a wonderful adventure. The daydreaming girl followed a rabbit and ended up in another magical world. And as you can see in this picture from Miriam Safdar, it seems like the little girl never left Wonderland. She is still holding the white rabbit in her hands. But this time he looks much more realistic. Did she imagine all this, or was this world real? No matter what, no one could ever doubt that Alice is really beautiful. With her blonde hair, big blue eyes, and little blue dress, she looks just like a doll. And she can even be just as small as this toy when she drinks a potion from a bottle. Do you think that Alice should become an official Disney princess? Jasmine. The Arabian princess is truly a wish come true. We understand why Aladdin asked for Genie's help to win her heart, and in fact, she was so beautiful that they had to make sure the street urchin looked better than the other princes too. They made him older, took off his shirt, and made him more confident. So, do you want to see the look of the princess who inspired this prince? Here's Jasmine, reimagined by Mariam Safdar. She looks so good as an anime character. The colors she wears are even brighter, and her hair and eyes are shinier. Jasmine is just as precious as a diamond. But this artist is not the only one who imagined this princess as anime. Just look at this artwork from Andrew Pena. Jasmine now has rounder eyes, a tiny nose, and brighter hair. And by the look on her face, the young princess looks really happy to see Aladdin. Ariel. Our favorite little mermaid made a man fall in love with her when she couldn't even talk. With only her beauty to seduce a prince, this girl must be very pretty. And that's exactly how Mariam Safdar represented her. Her long red hair looks so good that she must have brushed them for hours with a fork. How can they be so shiny after years swimming in the sea? And we totally understand why Eric would want to kiss the girl with those sweet lips. And if you want to see more or The Mermaid reimagined as anime, here's another creation from Andrew Pena. Her look is much more expressive, and instead of red lipstick, she's now wearing a dark eyeliner. We would love to know where she buys her makeup because we have never seen anything so waterproof. Mulan. Mulan didn't want to marry a man or become a housewife. Instead, she became a man and joined the army. This is why it is surprising to see that Mariam Safdar recreated her as a feminine character. Instead of her old father's armor, Mulan is now wearing a pink and purple kimono dress, as when she was prepping for the matchmaker. She even wears a flower on her head, even though we know that this ornament is too fragile for her great adventure. She looks like she is ready to meet her future husband, but we think that it won't last long. Soon, Mulan will take the place of her father in the army and pretend to be a man to become a great warrior of China. Take off that kimono. A woman needs to wear something more comfortable if she wants to save her country. Tiana. The girl didn't mind being the most beautiful of them all. She just wanted to work hard and have enough money to realize her dream. But isn't this ambition what makes her look even better? As a young waitress, as a princess, and even as a frog, no man can resist her. Mariam Safdar imagined her at her best when she is dressed as a princess. Green suits her perfectly, as a woman or as an amphibian. But we have to admit that we still love seeing her working as a waitress too. Here's how Andrew Pena reimagined her. Her eyes are bigger, and we love that beautiful smile. Tiana's hair is a little messier, but we don't mind. We know that what matters is not what's on her head, but what's in it. Let's just hope she will be the one serving our favorite meal every day. And soon it will be in her own restaurant, Kira. Even though she is a princess of Atlantis, most people forget about this Disney character. But this time we pay homage to this warrior who saved her city and became a queen. Now let's take a look at this artwork from Mariam Safdar to see if you remember her. The princess is even more beautiful with all these details in her hair. She still wears a blue pendant around her neck and blue makeup on her face. But this time we can see her in a brighter light to really appreciate her beauty. The creators didn't want her to be a damsel in distress like the other princesses. They wanted her to be a warrior like no other. And as you can see from her look, all these artists succeeded in making her a unique character. Do you think Kida deserves to be an official Disney princess? Don't be shy to tell us what you think in the comments down below. Pocahontas. The Native American princess taught John Smith to just look around him to realize how beautiful nature is. But little did she know the most gorgeous thing he could see was Pocahontas standing right in front of him. Once again, Mariam Safdar made the princess look even more beautiful than she is in the original movie. We love those eyes and the high cheekbones. And the character also looks more mature than what we used to see. All the little details let us discover even more of her beauty. But if you want to see Pocahontas in the funniest way, just look at this drawing from Andrew Pena. Her eyes are way bigger than they were before, and Pocahontas now has rosy cheeks. Is she shy to see John Smith? By the way she looks at him, it just seems like this man probably said something that didn't please her once again. Elsa. How could we forget Queen Elsa? We will never let it go. This is probably one of the best Disney princess movies. After hiding her power for years and trapping her kingdom in a perpetual winter, she discovered that all she needed was a sister to warm her heart. And as you can see from this picture from Mariam Safdar, She received so much love from her sister that she became a summer queen. We know one little snowman who will be happy to hear about this. With a green dress covered with pink flowers, the people around her can finally enjoy a beautiful summer day. And we can't forget about her sister, Anna. She now looks like the princess of spring with all these flowers on her dress. No matter what, we know that these sisters will stay together during the 4 seasons. The warmth and the cold never bothered them anyway. Merida. The redhead didn't need a man to tell her she is beautiful. She already knew she was without making any effort. And what made her prettier is that she didn't even care about that. Merida had better things to do than trying to please anyone. As you can see in this drawing from Miriam Safdar, the princess is more beautiful than ever. She kept her natural look with no makeup, wild hair, and tons of freckles. But this time, don't you think she looks older than she is in the original film? And instead of being 16, she looks like she could be in her 20s. After all, you shouldn't marry a man when you're too young. But she doesn't care about them anyway. Her heart belongs to herself, and no one will ever keep this brave princess from being who she wants to be. Tinkerbell. The little fairy might not be a princess, but she's still one of our favorite Disney characters. Following Peter Pan everywhere, her greatest strength was making everyone smile. And you have to admit that you want to see what she looks like as an anime anyway. So let's see how Miriam Safdar imagined her. She kept her bubbly personality, but she looks even prettier when we can take a closer look at her. With all these details, we can truly believe that magic exists and it is hidden in the forest in Neverland. How could we explain why Tinkerbell is so gorgeous otherwise? Looking so good must be one of her secret powers. Don't forget to say that you believe that fairies exist today. We want this beautiful creature and her friends to live forever. We believe in fairies. Snow White. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all? It's Snow White, of course, but not the one we saw in the original movie. The princess as animated looks even better. Just take a look at this artwork from Miriam Safdar. The beautiful teenager looks even younger now. After all, she is supposed to be 14, and this time she really looks like she is. Snow White seems even more innocent without makeup and with her wavy hair. But please, someone tell her not to eat the apple in her hand. And as you can see in this picture from Andrew Pena, someone just told her that the fruit was dangerous. And she looks more shocked than surprised. Who could have done that to her? If she thinks about the fact that her stepmother wanted a hunter to steal her heart, she's probably one of the primary suspects. Aurora. If there's one girl who looks gorgeous when she's sleeping, it's Aurora. She never expected that she would fall asleep for days when she found a spinning wheel, but she managed to look so beautiful lying in bed anyway. She looks so great that a prince couldn't resist the temptation of kissing her. And as you can see in this picture from Miriam Safdar, we would love to fall in love with her too. Just look at these gorgeous blonde locks and that pretty face. The artist even dared to imagine her with purple eyes. This characteristic is so rare, just as this princess's beauty. But it's time to have a little more fun. Just watch what Andrew Pena thought she would look like as an anime character sleeping. We're not sure if Prince Philip would like to kiss her right now, but she would definitely make him smile. Now this is what a real woman would look like if she spent the whole day sleeping. Belle. With a name like that, we could expect the princess to be the most beautiful of them all, and she truly is, not only on the outside, but also on the inside. No other woman could have taken the time to make the beast a better man and turn him into a Prince Charming. But could you believe that she could be even prettier than she already is? Just take a look at this picture from Miriam Safdar. She is ready for the ball, and once the prince sees her, there would be no going back. He won't be able to keep himself from falling in love with her. But now, let's take a look at another version of Belle from Andrew Pena. This time, she didn't take the time to do her hair or do her makeup, and she doesn't even care. The beast will love her as she is, or he won't love her at all.
Did you know that 84% of My Little Pony fans are male? And we bet a lot of them also love Disney. If you love the two worlds, you're in for a real treat because we're about to show you the most amazing illustrations we have ever seen. Rapunzel is really rockin' the My Little Pony look. Don't forget to subscribe to The Things and give this video a thumbs up. Today, we're checking out 10 Disney princesses reimagined as My Little Pony. Princess Jasmine. My Little Pony is a popular show for kids and teenagers. This resulted in a lot of interesting illustrations that mixed the world of Disney with My Little Pony characters. Let's start with arguably one of the most beautiful Disney princesses ever. Princess Jasmine is one of those characters you just can't help to love. She's incredibly progressive, stubborn, feisty, and has a heart of gold. So what would happen if we mixed Princess Jasmine's look with a My Little Pony character? Here's a very fabulous-looking Princess Jasmine as My Little Pony. She still has that bling on her, and we love her long, dark hair. Princess Jasmine would perfectly fit in the magical pony world. As you know, each pony represents a powerful element that relates to friendship. With that in mind, which element do you think Princess Jasmine would represent? Would it be honesty, or would it be confidence? We're sure she'd have a lot to bring to the My Little Pony story, and she'd certainly add a sarcastic tone to normal conversations. That's what you'd get from Princess Jasmine. But our next Disney princess would bring slightly different values. Do you think the ponies would react well to a frog that would turn back into a Disney princess-inspired pony? Sounds like our next character might be quite a handful. Princess Tiana. Princess Tiana is incredibly loyal, and she knows she has to work hard to realize her dreams and never give up. She looks sweet on the outside, but don't underestimate Princess Tiana's values and spirit. Now imagine, what would Princess Tiana look like if she became a My Little Pony character? She'd add a whole lot of fabulous to the pony crew, and we'd love to see this look on the show. This illustration belongs to a DeviantArt user, Inkling97, and it is gorgeous. This version of Princess Tiana has merged well with My Little Pony, and we love her green dress, the necklace, and her dark hair. Do you think the lack of opposable thumbs would get in the way of Tiana's dreams of running a restaurant? Knowing this headstrong princess, she'd probably figure out how to make it all work with her new features as a pony. Wouldn't you love to see that story? Princess Tiana, looking like a pony, trying to run a restaurant? As if being a frog wasn't difficult enough. Did you ever notice that we've never seen Tiana's hair being loose? She always had it tied back for the entire Princess and the Frog movie. And we love that the artist let her hair down for this My Little Pony look. Speaking of hair, wait until you see Brave and Rapunzel's look in a few minutes. Belle. Another outspoken princess on our list is Belle. Belle is compassionate and kind to everyone. How many Disney princesses do you know that are passionate bookworms? We can probably count them on one hand, so it's no wonder why Belle is such a popular character. This DeviantArt artist did an amazing job putting Belle into the world of My Little Pony. This pony looks focused reading her book, but yet we can see that this is Belle based on her brown hair and her blue bow. Do you see the detail on the book? It looks like Belle is reading her own Beauty and the Beast story. We can imagine she'd get along with many of the pony characters, including Twilight Sparkle, who's also quite a bookworm. We bet the two would have a thing or two to talk about. The Disney fanbase still can't figure out what Belle's actual favorite book is. Remember the scene where she talks about the far-off places, daring sword fights, magic spells, and a prince in disguise? Some think she's talking about Aladdin, while others just believe she is foreshadowing what will happen to her life story. Well, there's a spot for Belle on the My Little Pony show, and we'd love to see it all happen. Ariel. You'd better get ready, because the Little Mermaid just became the Little Pony. And we love this look. Why do these ponies look so fabulous in any situation? You could put them underwater and they'd still manage to rock the look. We are in love with Ariel disguised as a character from My Little Pony. Her red hair is looking even more gorgeous, if that's even possible. Ponies as mermaids is such a popular concept. You can find several online dress-up games and see what Ariel would look like as a pony on your own. But let's go back to this The Little Pony character for a moment. We'd love to see what Sebastian and Flounder would look like as cartoon ponies. Did you know that the color of Ariel's fin was specifically blended by the team behind the movie to complement the existing colors of the sea? Nothing quite like it was ever created before, and this particular color is named Ariel, after the Little Mermaid. We'd love to see more sea creatures in the original My Little Pony show, and it looks like having a mermaid would be a perfect fit. Which values do you think Ariel would bring to the table? We bet they would be different from our next Disney princess, and we can only hope these friendly ponies know how to walk on ice. Elsa. Okay, Elsa, it's time to let it go and become a part of a brand new world. Do you ever wonder what Elsa would look like if she became a My Little Pony character? She's a feisty one, much feistier than Princess Jasmine or Belle, but Elsa's love for her family is what she would bring to the elements of friendship. Check out this glittery version of Elsa as a charming and feisty-looking pony. We love the gorgeous braid and the sparkles on her ponytail. Did you know that Elsa was originally supposed to be a villain? The co-directors of the movie explained that Elsa was supposed to be a villain, and they changed her character when they heard "Let It Go." They also highlighted the importance of Anna and Elsa having an emotional bond. This bond helped shape the movie into the Frozen you know today. So if there's anything Elsa could bring in the My Little Pony world, it's family values and the importance of having an emotional bond with the person you love. And of course, we can't forget her amazing singing voice, which belongs to the talented Idina Menzel. It's safe to say Elsa would be able to out-sing practically any My Little Pony character, and we'd love to see it happen. Snow White. Let's just jump right into this illustration because it's just so darn cute. While other My Little Pony illustrations so far all show the typical long-haired look, Snow White's version is sporting cool, short hair. The red bow is still there, and the artist added a long blonde braid to the ponytail. But what we love are the 3 cute red apples next to the ponytail. Snow White is one of the youngest Disney princesses out there, but at just 14, she is one of the kindest and loving princesses out there. Who else could do such an amazing job at befriending everyone they meet? Speaking of Snow White, did you know Walt Disney was just a year older than the Disney princess herself when he decided to retell the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs story? The movie was released in 1937, and it became an instant success. We love the original look of Snow White, but did you know that the dwarf's eyebrows were modeled by Walt Disney's eyebrows? On the other hand, Snow White's charming look was based on a young dancer, Marge Champion. Do you think Marge would approve of this version of Snow White as a My Little Pony character? Cinderella. It looks like the fairy godmother casted another bibbidi-bobbidi-boo spell and turned Cinderella into a My Little Pony princess. We're not sure why, but this look suits Cinderella just as much as her original look. Cinderella is one of those classic stories that will never go out of style. It brings important life lessons of always being kind no matter what, believing in yourself, and taking chances. This is exactly what Cinderella would bring to the My Little Pony show, and she'd look fabulous doing it. This pony is definitely rocking the Cinderella hairstyle, and we'd love to see more details in this transformation. Did you know that Cinderella was the second most successful Disney movie at the time and the first to have its songs copyrighted and published? We'd love to see what some of the other characters like Gus Gus would look like as My Little Pony characters. Do you notice the detail on Cinderella's picture? This pony is even wearing a glass slipper. It would be very interesting to see how that would play out in the actual show. Would the My Little Pony version of Cinderella still be as graceful, or would her glass slippers give her even more trouble? She's not the only one with a special feature. Just wait until you see our next character, Mulan. Is Mulan your favorite Disney princess? Wait until you see what we have in store for you. This version of Mulan as a My Little Pony character might just be the best one we've seen yet. Mulan is known as being completely independent and witty. In our eyes, she's one of a unique Disney princesses out there. This illustration belongs to a DeviantArt artist, Benny Bing, who created one of the most amazing My Little Pony characters. She looks like she's ready to take a stance and protect the people she loves the most. Which element of friendship do you think Mulan would bring in the series? Would it be selfless, or perhaps being determined and going after what you want? We'd love to see these two worlds mix. This My Little Pony character is different than the others. We love that the artist highlighted Mulan's facial features and gave a flower in her hair. Unlike Tiana or Belle, this illustration comes with very little detail, but we can still easily see Mulan's characteristics shining through. Mulan is also one of the most popular people's choices when it comes to tattoos, but we somehow can't imagine anyone picking a tattoo of Mulan as My Little Pony. Merida. We all know Mulan is a fierce character. But is she fiercer than this orange-haired Disney princess who doesn't need a man to have a popular story? We love Merida's unique look, but we also love this unique illustration of our favorite character from Brave as a character from My Little Pony. If Mulan is a free-spirited Disney princess, we think that Merida is a whole nother level of free-spirited. Her story is inspiring for anyone who is looking for a strong female Disney character as their role model. This version of Merida was created by a DeviantArt user, Apostlebird, who did an amazing job at showing Merida as a very fierce pony. As usual, her hair is absolutely out of control. Did you know that Merida's hair was quite a problem for the animators behind the movie? Merida was the first Disney princess that was able to show off her beautiful hair. This was a result of a long quest to find that perfect animation software that would enable the creators to create slightly more realistic characters, and it worked. Even as a My Little Pony character, Merida looks ready to fight for her rights. Speaking of hair, there's only one Disney character whose hair is so fascinating, we can't help but wonder, how did Disney manage to create such an awesome look? Rapunzel. If there's a Disney princess that would perfectly fit in the world of My Little Pony, it's Rapunzel. The slightly naive but headstrong 18-year-old is one of the quirkiest princesses out there. Don't forget, she uses a frying pan to fight off anyone that stands in her way. The biggest friendship element she would bring to the My Little Pony crew is love. And we agree because we love her magical pony look. Did you know that the animator behind Tangled hired his daughter, who then created Rapunzel's room? He explained that when she was younger, she was already interested in painting. By the time Tangled was in production, his daughter was so good, he ended up just hiring her to create the look of Rapunzel's room. But it's not just Rapunzel's room that catches your eye as you're watching the movie. Her 70-foot-long hair is fascinating. While Merida's hair was developed using a new animation software, the animators behind Rapunzel still used the old techniques. But it's safe to say that the talented team managed to do the impossible. To create Rapunzel's long hair, the team used 70-foot-long cloth and dangled it out of the balcony to see how it would move. We can imagine why this My Little Pony Rapunzel character doesn't have her signature long-haired look, but that doesn't mean we don't love it. Which was your favorite Disney Princess My Little Pony character? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up.